It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Eliyahu and Chava Likvornik, and we're here in your beautiful apartment in Modi'in in Israel. And if you could tell us a little bit about your family, where you were born and who your parents were.
I was born in a little village, a little small village, named Balachan. Balachan. That's in north of Romania, in Bukovina. 1940, a anti-Semitic government in Romania appeared.
Now, when were you born?
I was born in Bukovina.
In what year?
In 1935.
35. And Chava?
34.
34. Okay. And you were born in the same town?
No. She was born in the same region, but not at the same time, Bukovina.
Bukovina, near Chernovitz.
Near Chernovitz?
Near Chernovitz, in a little village. Very, very beautiful. And a very rich family. Big farm, more than big. And respected from all the population there.
אני אמשיך. אני אגיד משהו. Her family possessed a meal they made from corn or wheat. They made flour that was all the surrounding came with their agriculture and bring it to the mill. And we have been there and we found the mill. It was still working. We were a few times there. תמשיכי, מה?
נמשיך. I was there 6 old year. And in 1940, the Russian occupied all the Zor Shama.
The area?
All the region.
And I didn't go to school because they went to school at age 7, not 6. So one Shabbat at noon came to us the
policemen of the village.
Karim.
Yeah, the farmers, the people of the village.
Yeah. It said us we have to go to leave everything, the table for Shabbat. We have to leave, to go.
To leave the village.
To leave the house, everything, not to take, nothing. I had a sister 6 months old then, and we can take the carriage and nothing more. They sit there, farmers, and ask us to give everything, every Julie, every what to have, gold and everything. And my father was like you know what is yeke, yeke. Everything is הכל בסדר אצלו, מה שאומרים לו. He gave everything, and he very poor, nothing, not food, not water. August, hot, rain, everything's in Europe, and so we keep going. 14 days with nothing, with a little baby, and then no makot. Makot.
They beat them on the watchmen that accompanied them. They beat them up, and who couldn't walk, they kill him.
Yeah.
And they went from home to Ukraine, to Mogilev, in a ghetto. From home, from where they live.
Wow.
2 weeks.
And you were walking?
Walking.
And no food, very little food.
There were people who have money, not in the pockets, and I don't know where, and they who could buy some food on the way, but we have nothing. So we came to Mogilev. Everything was ruined because the war. And בקיצור, there we lived, if you can call it living. כמה? 5 years.
And it was under the Russian?
No. Under the Ukraine and German.
Under the Ukraine and German?
Yeah, that was occupied by Germany. And they made a ghetto there.
And you could stay, you could live, and they knew you were Jewish?
Of course they knew. They deported us from our home in Romania to Ukraine in a ghetto, the Germans. That was under Germany.
It was under Germany.
Many people died, of course.
Because of no food and...
No food.
No food, no work, no nothing.
No food.
No medicines, no nothing.
Many ill and died. And my father went to help a doctor, and then, איך הוא נדבק?
Typhoid.
Typhus.
The typhus, and died.
Your father died?
Yeah.
And what happened to the baby?
The baby is now 80 years old. She's here.
Oh, she survived.
It's her sister.
And so we left with my mother, a little baby, and I. 5 years.
Was it just you and your sister?
Yeah, and her mother.
And your mother?
Yeah.
Her grandmother died also there.
Yeah, sure. Was noch?
And what did you do during the day? Was there school?
מה עשית במשך היום?
Nothing.
Was there school?
No school.
No school.
No school, no nothing.
And how did you get to eat?
איך קיבלת אוכל? מאיפה אכלת?
my mother was arrested because she
Ma,
גנבה.
she stole.
She stole.
Yeah.
She stole in the market by the farmers of Ukraine.
She was arrested the whole night, and the little baby without food, without nothing.
I didn't know that you want to make a video. It takes time. It's not.
I know, but it's very the top word, unbelievable. It's a miracle. It's a miracle to survive.
קשה לי באנגלית את כל מה שיש לי להגיד, אבל בדרך כלל אני יודעת אנגלית יותר טוב, אבל ככה עם כל האמושן זה לא הולך לי כל כך טוב הסיפור, אבל הרוסים
The Russians.
ניצחו
Okay, באנגלית, they won.
את הגרמנים.
They defeated the Germans.
1945, and they gave us some bread, some משהו, לא יודעת מה, and told us they can go home. Just come, take your car and then go home. Yeah. We didn't know where we are. הלכנו אז ככה, הולכים. Some cousin and my mother, the little baby, she was a year and a half, and we started to go. Don't know what direction we went. We went so it was August. We went so until January. לא יודעת למה ואיך. טוב, אני אגיד.
The same, we at 1940, from our village, we were deported to Chava, Shots, that's a bigger city, the main city of the region. And from there, we were there maybe a year, I can't remember exactly. Friday night, the Germans put us on a train, a cattle train, and we deported us to Ukraine, but only until the border. There is a river, Dnieper, the Dnieper River, until there, in a city it's named Ataki. And from there, they put some small boat on a deck, and there you have to go over the river. Many people fell down, and
תספר גם איך אנחנו עברנו.
the same thing.
לא the same, לא בורד ולא כלום.
It's not for 5 minutes. It's not a story of 5
לא,
minutes.
אי אפשר.
No. And then we came to Mogilev. That was at fall of 41, and then the first day of Pesach, my father died from typhoid, and a few months later my mother died, and my grandfather and grandmother, a brother and a sister also died there in Mogilev. And until 44, American joined, paid money to the Germans, and they took out children without parents, orphans, back to Romania, and from there we sent us to Israel. I came to Israel in 1944, before World War II was ended.
And who remained from your family? Did you have any?
No, not only I remained, and my brother, a smaller one, he died 20 years ago, and two sisters. And to make the story short, 27 or 28 years ago, we brought from Mogilev remainings of the family what we found. Her father and her grandfather, Chava's grandfather and Chava's father, my father and my grandmother, and my mother I didn't found it, and my brother and sister we didn't found because they were in a grave together with, and we couldn't locate it. And another grandfather too, from my mother's father also, we brought them here, and they are buried here. And that's it.
So Eliyahu, can I just ask you, the joint made negotiations with the Germans, and they managed to bring the orphans back to Romania.
Yeah.
And they brought you here in 44.
Yes. In 17 July 44, I came to Israel.
And who did you come with? You came with your brother and your sisters?
With my brother.
And your sisters?
My sisters remained there. They were supposed to come, but somebody else paid some money, and they took them out and put the other people inside on the boat.
Sure. And when you came here, where did you come to?
I came here we came to Haifa. We came to Istanbul, in Turkey, and there the British let us in. I have a visa to come, and we came to Haifa. In Haifa, divided the children to the many political groups that were here. Everyone, let's say, one was, they had 7%, so they get 7% of children. If one was a bigger one, they get more. And my brother and myself, we were sent to Jerusalem to a yeshiva from Agudas Israel.
Wow.
Well, it's a story, but it's not for 5 minutes.
I know. And Eliyahu, I just want to ask you, because it's so, I've never heard this. When you went from Ukraine back to Romania, do you remember the trip? Do you remember going back?
I remember we were divided to families that were able to keep us until we go to Israel. So we were in a few places, a few cities, always where the family can give us shelter and food. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay. So I want to thank you both.
Yeah.
You both nearly, Ken and Hora, 90 years old. You look so young.
Almost.
You look so young, and it's amazing. And just that you both came from the same area.
Yeah.
And you only met when you were in Israel.
Yeah. We met in Israel.
And how many years have you been married?
What?
How much, Shani?
Almost 70.
Almost 70 years.
So that's So what? It's amazing. So how do you remain so happily married? It's wonderful to see.
Happy married? Listen, marriage, you know, you are married.
שבר
You
את
have a-
הרגל, שברת את הרגל, ברוך.
Yeah.
זהו.
Wow. But you both are inspiration, and it's amazing. And I'm so glad. And we will do it. But to,
אדוני, אתה צריך משקפיים. אתה לא רואה טוב.
no, it's. But I can see you both very, very well, and I'm just so grateful. Really, thank you very, very much. And you should just be both well and
Yeah,
gesund.
almost well, but okay. According to our age, we are okay.
You're amazing. It's incredible. It's that you brought also your family to be buried here. That must have been very difficult to bring the family.
Nothing we can do about it. Yeah.
And can I just ask, in the years, have you met other members of the family that survived the Shoah? Did you?
No. All the others, we had 3 aunts that remained. They also passed away. They already. But we didn't know members that survived, except her family that survived, and part of my aunts and uncle that he died, he passed through the Holocaust, and all of them have already passed away.
And did you used to speak to your children about the Shoah when they were growing up?
Here in Israel, we didn't until 40 years, something like that. We didn't speak about. Not only we, many survivors didn't speak with youngsters about the Shoah, because we wanted them to grow up without complexions. But I think 40 years ago, in school, they made a thing that they said,
Roots.
The Shorashim, the roots.
Shoshim.
The roots.
Then
Family roots.
they start to ask, so we start to tell them. And then it started that we went, our firstborn boy, we went when it was possible to go to Ukraine after the communists fell down. We went there to find our ancestors, and so it started. But until then, we didn't speak about it.
But did your children know that you were survivors?
Yeah, of course they know.
They knew from a very young age?
No, only from school.
Only from school. Before that, they never
No.
knew.
It was not.
Popular.
It wasn't not a right to speak. Nobody spoke about this.
Did you speak with each other?
No,
No?
we didn't think it's important.
And you never spoke to each other?
No?
No.
About what?
What happened to you? What happened to your family?
No.
No?
No, the mother.
That's
I tell you something else. We were also, I knew her in a kibbutz, in Shluchot, it's Emek
I've been
Beit
to Shlichot.
Yes.
I know Shlichot.
We were there as youngsters, and we were there a group of youngsters, also survivors. All of 60 years later, we invited them here in this
כמה?
60 שנה.
אמרת 6.
60 שנה, 60 years later, we invited whom we could find here. And then we find out that one of them was with us in the same ghetto, but nobody speak about it. We don't speak about it. It's not an issue. we came here and we started to live. We got married. We were in the army. Our sons, one son of us was in infantry. He was an officer, and the other one was the Navy officer. The third one was a pilot, and his son was a pilot. He now he finished. And our grandchildren are officers in the army.
בסדר,
That's all.
הכל טבעי, הכל היה ברור, למה לא?
And can I just ask, did you have a lot of friends? Your friends, were they also ניצולי השואה, survivors?
Not
Your friends, החברים.
no. We have חברים,
לא.
but not ניצולי שואה. One, we have a couple that he was also. He is from Chernovitz and he was in Mogilev. And he lives here and we are friends.
כן, למה
But
לא?
usually we are friends. No survivors. No, we are not going to how do you say it?
לאן?
Kinusim to.
It's like they have ceremonies where they...
No, we don't go to them.
לא ארגונים,
Yeah, organizations
No, no.
and...
זה לא חברים.
But you have spoken with...
We have every Yom Shoah from Yad Vashem. They give our address to groups, to factories, to offices, and they invite us to speak, to tell our story. That's all.
כן.
And you do it, you have done it.
We do it, כן.
אבל
It's
שנה
important.
שעברה לא יכול ללכת בגלל הקורונה או משהו
Yeah,
כזה.
because
אז
of the quarantine.
הנרדה שלנו הקליטה אותנו
Oh, they
פה
videoed.
ושלחה את זה לכולם.
And when did you start going to speak about it? How long ago?
לא.
What do you mean by that?
With Yom HaShoah, is it already...
Many years ago.
Well, I want to thank you both so much. Thank you so much.